Happy Friday to you all. We are live coming across the internet from Long Island, New York. I figured I'd give you a different intro today. Hello, my friends. Jason Owens, you know where I am. I'm right here. Hello, Bob Hope in the UK. Thank you, Sandy Hopkins, for showing up early. I hope you all can hear me okay. Please do give me the all right in the chat. 2:30 on the nose, Lady Grayzilla, and I'm already late to the party. No, you're not late. You're not late. We haven't even really gotten started yet. This is just the intro section. Hello there, Bob. RK Animations in the house. Mark Perez, you're new? Well, what's going on, Mark? Mark's new. Everybody say hi to Mark. What's up, Mark? What are you doing, man? Welcome to the show. This is the first time I've ever done this before. This is like 5 shows in a row. I've never done such a thing. So I hope that you are appreciative. This is, I was hoping that something would pop out, that I was hoping that I would, click with something. And the news is pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. We got a new planet. We got life on another planet. Spinning around Barnard Star. Remember, that was discovered last year. Coincidentally, that planet can also, inhabit life. There's a connection here to a lot of weird things. A magnetic field anomaly that's going on right now. I've talked about it on the show. Animals acting weird. Things happening with the magnetic field. People talking about pole reversal. Today's show. One telescope after another go down. Just talked about Hubble yesterday, right? But there's been others. There's Kepler, there's Chandra. We're going to talk about that today, too. It's all connected. And there was supposed to be a SpaceX NASA partnership launch for the Dragon. The Dragon mission. The dragon, there shall be a sign in heaven, and it shall be a dragon. I'm not saying that just because it's happening in the literal, that it's happening in the spiritual. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Of course I am. That's all I do. Put things together, follow little breadcrumbs. Now, right off the bat, here's a disclaimer. I'm not an astronomer. I don't have any inside scoop. Nobody's feeding me any information so that you should listen to me above anyone else, but there's a lot of news, and it seems for some reason, like, I'm led to talk about these things. I stumble upon these things, and over the years, all of these stories literally have been coming together, and I think they're all connected. I'm gonna do one of those shows. They're looking for the theory that connects general relativity and quantum mechanics. What's that one true theorem that puts everything. I'm going to come up with a theorem. How this is all connected, from Mandela effect to politics to everything. All connected. Conditions for life might exist on new planet discovered around Barnard Star. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's take a look at Barnard Star. Let's find out a little bit about something that takes place. Now, basically, let me come back to you for a second. Basically, this is the closest star to us. Okay? It is it doesn't even produce anywhere near the amount of output that our sun does. It's like a dwarf star, right? Which is interesting. There's another name for it, maybe, called Nemesis. There's a belief that we are a solar system that is linked with yet another solar system and a dwarf star, and that every so often these two systems come in. And within the last year or so, there's been a lot of stories that have come out about how our solar system was formed by another solar system coming in close and things kind of rubbing up against each other, And another reason why Uranus is facing the way it is, right? Problems with Uranus. They stemmed from something that happened out there in space. Okay? Yeah, Uranus. Great. Okay, moving on. Now, Barnard Star is a low-mass red dwarf. Okay, so it's kind of like Sounds a little bit like the story. I don't know. Okay, does anybody here in the chat? This is the time of the show before I really get into the because there is, it's amazing how these things pop out and they just kind of make sense. And I get an idea as I'm reading it, and I think to myself, hey, maybe I should look over here, and maybe I should look under this, this thing over here. Maybe I should click on that over there, because you get these ideas like, if this is wrong, then this would be wrong too. Then you go to check to see if that's wrong. And then you're like, and if there was some kind of, you would then check over here, and then, signal's coming in again, repeating fast radio bursts. We talked about it yesterday, right? Someone actually said, this is funny in the comment section, sounded very smart, said to me, the radio burst cannot affect the Hubble lens, because the Hubble lens it's picking up light signatures and not sound. It wasn't a point. I don't know how sometimes people miss the point. The point is, it's a coincidence that all of it's happening, right? Now, if there is, let's just say, if there is some kind of alien race called the Anunnaki out there, I'm not saying they are. There are a lot of people that say there are. You can even check out that movie that was just out. It's making the rounds. Bob Lazar, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler's now big heavy hitter here in the conspiracy world. Well, ufology, I guess. And he had a nice interview there. You have a lot of disclaimers that if, I'm not an astronomer, I don't have any information for you, but all the information is out there. So if you start putting it together, maybe it fits. I don't know. So they make this announcement, okay? Life on this planet, as I come over to the chat room. I don't think Tyler is slowing down, Neil. He's almost, what is he at, 2 million subscribers? When I saw the dude, he was at he was just over 500,000 or so. And, I don't know. I think it's all working together. Of course, Pilgrim's Progress brings up the Fuel Society, of course, because we had Ultima Fuel. Right, I did a show on that too. Y'all, if you're new to the channel, you should catch up. Go back, check out some of the older shows. And we got a lot of people here watching. Thank you all for coming. Do me a favor, will you hit that button? Hit that like button if you like it so far, because it's kind of important. It helps other people to then get notified. The algorithm will say, oh, people like this. Maybe you like this too. But if not enough people like it, it doesn't matter. And comment, too. That's a big thing. Also, share it around. Subscribe, check the bell, do that stuff. Okay, let's read about conditions for life might exist on the new planet discovered around Barnard Star. Let's find out a little bit about this and as we get into this. So now, how could life exist? Because supposedly this star is like a really chilly planet. It's very cold. So now, here's the difference. Now, being today is the 11th, this came out like yesterday. A group of astronomers are saying there's no life out here is kind of premature, because on Earth, now this is where it gets cool, guys, okay, and gals. Geothermal vents produce heat, create unique environments where life thrives in places otherwise difficult to eke out a living. So they're basically saying, okay, let me come on over here for a second. They're basically saying that you can't rule this out because, and we're talking about an alien civilization. So the conditions there, they're talking about the conditions there. And then they're saying, well, look at Lake Vostok, right? Because the conditions there, it doesn't make any sense, and it's there. Vostok, the crazy magnetic anomaly that makes no sense. Would it be interesting? It's just interesting if they compared the two. I don't know. Well, let's see. Let's take a look. Barnard Star is a low-mass red dwarf, which means it's small, ancient, and only emits a fraction of the sun's energy. I told you this. Okay, then the planet itself, I'm going to pull this up, orbits the star every 233 days, which is important. This is important because, I'm going to press play on this. There we go. Boom. There we go. Much better. I need a little bit of music for this, I need a little bit of music to get things going. Okay, so because of its distant orbit around the tiny star, this is the reason why I said it was important. It's a little colder, okay? So things would be pretty freezing pretty freezy cold on top of the surface. But what about the water below? On Thursday morning, on the 23rd, meeting of the American Astronomical Society in Seattle, Washington. It's interesting that they just met. And you look at the numbers, 23, third. Maybe there's something to it. People are into numbers. I don't know. I just figured I'd throw it out there. They said that if the world also has large iron-nickel core and enough geothermal activity, features such as volcanic plumes and vents, it could create life zones of artificial water underneath the world's frozen surface. Now these life zones, this is where it gets interesting. I hope you're reading ahead. According to study co-author Edward Guillen of Villanova University, may be akin to a subsurface lake found in Antarctica. You know that place that's off limits. You know that place where there's tons of UFO activity and military activity and all sorts of secrecy. But it gets better. The closest analog, the closest thing to that planet, the icy planet, would be Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok. Now, this normally wouldn't stick out to me. This normally wouldn't be something that I'd be like, yes, it's Lake Vostok, and it must mean something. But I did shows on Lake Vostok when they were just recently drilling down there and trying to get there. Lake Vostok, let's talk about this for a second. The magnetic anomaly at the hidden lake. And I'm not going to answer this person right now. I'm going to turn this down. I apologize. I should have turned my phone off. Vostok is the center of an environmental debate as American scientists led by the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, which means to deceive in Hebrew, many like to point out. Just saying. Discovered in 1994, Vostok. Okay, so there's this like magnetic anomaly that makes no sense. Okay, I mean it's very strange. I mean here's an image of the lake, a radar image of the lake, but it's like this area that is it could have life, and they found entrances to it and all sorts of weird things, right? So there's already like some kind of lore to this place. And one of the reasons why I talked about Lake Vostok was because in 2018, Russia, that was just a little while ago, just had their largest military drill like forever. It was like hundreds of thousands of troops, aircraft, everything. And partnership with China and other things. I talked about it. Go back, check it out. But look at the name, Vostok. I don't know why. I just thought that it was important that they'd come together, but they came together. Very strange. So this planet possibly, because of Vostok, could possibly have life on it. I think that that's kind of cool. What do you think? Do you think that maybe these two are connected? Do you think that it is possible, as I try to pull up more music again, do you think that it is possible that maybe all of this stuff that's happening with the satellites, with the discoveries of the new planets, with the secrecy and the shutting down of the solar observatories, that perhaps all of it is connected somehow? Because I think it does. I think it sounds a lot like another story called Nibiru. Now take a look at this. Barnard Star, okay? It orbits Barnard Star, the closest solitary sun to ours. The closest. If we were in some kind of dance cosmically with another star, the closest one we know of is this one. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not that bright, you know? I'm not here telling you that this is all, Planet X, Planet 9, but they're looking for it, right? Okay, so just recently an exoplanet was found. Now this is the one we're talking about, that one that has life. This is coming back a little bit earlier. Proxima Centauri system. It's only 4.2 light years away. Not that close, but not that far. The planet is probably dimly lit. So's the other one that we know about, right? It's hard to see. It's very dark because of the iron oxide and everything else. Magnetic. If you know anything about the magnetic field, it has a lot to do with iron as well. Putting that out there. We'll get to that point in a short period of time. Planet is probably a dim lit by its star and slightly colder than Saturn. Researchers believe that it is an icy desert with no liquid water, a hostile environment. But Villanova University astrophysicists Edward and Scott announced Thursday they believe life could function in an unusual way. Lake Vostok way. I think that that's pretty cool. Now, let's say, for example, that all of this stuff that we're talking about is real. Let's say, for example, that some kind of advanced race has been uniquely linked to us, left behind, as they say, in an environment that they would be used to, like Vostok. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's real. I have an imagination. I like to use it. Considering the conditions are pretty much the same, is what they're saying. Well, if the rest of the gang is coming, you'd probably not want all of the telescopes to catch you. Talked about Hubble yesterday. Remember just a little while ago, I talked about this. I said it was coincidental. Kepler Space Telescope is done. I mean, that's a coincidence. This is also a coincidence that right after that, second NASA Space Telescope shuts down after unexplained problem. That was the Chandra. Interesting, right? Interesting. And then, of course, there was all the strange activity at the observatory, which they said was linked to bad stuff, really terrible bad stuff. Why would anybody question that? It is a little strange that it was shut down for that long and that there was Black Hawk helicopters ordering staff to leave and sealing the facility off. It's an observatory which could observe things and maybe could have found something which would immediately have to be shut down, which is why Black Hawk helicopters would have been there. And then, of course, a terrible cover story. Why would anybody question it? I'm not saying that happened. Let me come over here and tell you face to face. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying that I have an imagination. I like to connect the dots if there are any dots to connect. It's terrible. And then we hear about this. Now, what's even stranger is, do you remember this happening? They said in December, SpaceX was going to return to the scene of its last explosion. Strange that the rocket shut down the way it did, blew up. I'm not saying it's a coincidence. I mean, all this stuff happened around the same time. I'm just saying. It's strange. And now, just in the last couple of days or so, the first uncrewed test flight of SpaceX's New Dragon spacecraft for astronauts will now launch no earlier than February. They had to push the date. It's interesting. Had to push the date right after the Hubble went down. Or right around the same time. I don't know. I don't know if they're connected. Do you think they're connected? I don't know. NASA and SpaceX are now targeting no earlier than February for the launch of Demo 1 to complete hardware testing. Now look, this is a joint deal. Why is it called the Dragon mission? Sign in heaven indeed. It's hard to talk because, I'm still having issues with my jaw. Which is a real bummer. But I want, and I got to tell you, it probably doesn't help that I'm talking, that I did one show after another. I just wanted to do 5 shows. I wanted to say I did 5 shows. That was kind of like one of my goals for 2019. I didn't have any, but boom, it's done. It's done. You could thank the quirky, crazy news cycle for all the stuff that's coming out right now. Then, of course, you have the signals. That was, I think that was today's news as well. They're still talking about this deep space mysterious signal. These radio bursts. And now, let's just top this off. Yesterday's news, something very strange is happening to Earth's magnetic pole and no one knows why. Now, once again, I'm not the brightest of guys. I don't want to say that. I mean, I think I consider myself to be intelligent in things that I've learned. These are areas that I'm new to. But there's something going on with the magnetic field, which is strange. And I often wonder if it's because if you have two opposing forces, like if you have one magnetic field, maybe if you have other things coming in pushing against it, that it would change things. They're saying that no one knows why, but I think that could be a plausible explanation. I don't know. I don't know why with all this activity and all this stuff, one of the oldest, I think it's like maybe the second oldest recorded holy book. I don't know the actual, but it's old. The Sumerian mythology, the Sumerian tablets are, and this story is played in so many other faiths and so many other histories that you would think that maybe you should question it. The magnetic pole is moving so quickly that it has forced the world's geomagnetism experts into a rare move. On January 30th, delayed due to the U.S. government shutdown, the worldwide magnetic model needs to be changed. An urgent update. Urgent. This model is a vital component of systems ranging blah, 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 blah. They don't understand. It's changing. It's going. Let me see if I can get you the other one. Let's pull this up. Let me see if I can transition over here. I think I have an article up here somewhere. Let's take a look. Earth's magnetic field is up to some seriously weird stuff and no one knows why. What date is that again? I think that was from today. Oh yeah, that's from today. So this is like big news. It's this is, I would think, sort of important. It's seems like this is important. Seems like a lot of people are talking about it. Seems like there are a lot of things that you can put together and say, oh yeah, of course you'd shut down all the telescopes, and if an observatory caught the wind of what's coming, shut that down. Got to make sure everything's buttoned up real quiet and tight, and you start sending things up. You start making you got to get to the other side of the moon really quick. China just did that. You better. Everybody has this. The space race is on. Trump's like, we're gonna create a space force. I mean, like everybody. You put it all together, the aliens are coming. It's like, I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I don't know. I guess I'm ready. If that's the case, I guess I'm ready. I don't know. It's just so strange. It's all so strange to me. Oh, the orbits, right? What comes around goes around. That's why it's important for all of us to get our houses in order. All of us. Because we don't know what the days ahead bring. So let me come on in here and let me say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to come on over here into the chat and say hello and goodbye as we leave. Oh, thank you in Super Chat. Thank you, Diane Knox. I'm going to keep up the good fight. Thank you, Kimberly Stevens. I love you as well. You are amazing too. Thank you very much for doing that. That's so nice. Everybody who does that is really, you go above and beyond. And listen, y'all, if you like the show, do me a favor. There's, a lot more people in here than watching than liking. You got to just hit the button. It helps me out. Helps me out. My jaw's it hurts because I'm talking too much. Because I love you all. Because this is really great. And Ricky Lucas says, the nonsense in the chat is disappointing to me. Jacob, your shows mean a lot to me, and I value the information and insight you share. Well, thank you, Ricky. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I don't have moderators. But it's usually pretty good. Usually good. I mean, be nice when you're here. Just if we disagree, we disagree. What are you going to do? It's like, what are you going to do? You got to love each other. That's the truth. If you love, you're good. Even if then bad things happen, you know that you're putting your best foot forward. I love each and every one of you. Share it around. Tell your friends. And talk to you Tuesday. Bye-bye.